The darkness above Earth shimmered with the reflection of hundreds of alien warships. The sky was not blue that morning. It was filled with the faint glow of crimson light as massive vessels drifted into orbit. Each ship was the size of a continent, their hulls alive with pulsing symbols that flickered like living creatures. Humanity stood on the edge of extinction, surrounded by the greatest armada ever assembled in the galaxy. At the United Defense Command Center, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Commander Eli Grant stared at the holographic display of the alien fleet. His jaw was tight, his voice calm but cold. They've surrounded the planet completely. No communications allowed, no escape routes. The Council wants us to surrender. Beside him, Dr. Alara Quinn adjusted her lab coat and folded her arms. Surrender to what? They haven't even said what we're guilty of yet. General Hayes, an older man with steel-gray eyes, stepped forward. They claim we made something that violates the Galactic Safety Accord. An Extinction-Class Venom, whatever that means. Outside satellites flickered as the alien ships began scanning every inch of the planet. Dozens of defense drones activated across orbit, each one linked to Earth's global defense AI. The humans watched silently as messages from the Galactic Council began to appear on every screen. The translation system rendered the alien voice into harsh, metallic English. Species 4017, Humanity of Sol 3. You are accused of developing a weapon capable of erasing life at a galactic level. You will appear before the Council to answer for your crimes. The message repeated across every major city, every colony on the Moon and Mars. People froze in disbelief. Some screamed. Others recorded the skies as glowing alien ships blotted out the sun. Eli exhaled slowly. A weapon that erases life? We don't even have interstellar drives yet. Alara's lips curved faintly. Maybe they found something they don't understand. Moments later, a column of blue light descended from orbit, engulfing the Council's chosen landing site, Geneva. The air roared as the teleportation beam brought forth towering alien figures clad in silver armor. They moved with precise cold grace, each one at least 3 meters tall. In their midst hovered a floating crystal sphere. Inside it glowed the faint image of the Galactic High Chancellor, Vareen of the Elth Dominion. Humanity's representatives stepped forward. Commander Eli, Dr. Alara Quinn, and an interpreter named Miles Ward stood before the towering aliens, surrounded by soldiers with trembling hands. Vareen's voice echoed across the square, calm and resonant. You will accompany us to the Galactic Council chamber for judgment. Your world stands on the brink of isolation. Resist and your system will be quarantined for eternity. Ilara looked up at the projection. Fine, but we want to know what this is about. You accuse us of something impossible. The Chancellor's crystalline form pulsed faintly. Your planet has produced a compound classified as Extinction-Class Venom. One drop destroyed a Class 5 containment field. Nothing like it exists in the archives of the known galaxy. Alara frowned. Wait, you mean snake venom? The aliens exchanged glances, confusion rippling across their ranks. Snake venom? Yes, she said flatly. From a black mamba. One of our local snakes. We use it in lab tests to develop medicine. There was silence. Then one of the alien scientists, an elderly figure with a head full of quivering tendrils, stepped forward. His voice shook. You are saying this evolved naturally? On your homeworld? Ilara nodded slowly. That's right. The alien's tendrils went rigid, then he collapsed, fainting on the spot. A shock ran through the alien ranks as med drones rushed forward. Miles blinked, whispering to Eli, he just fainted. From hearing about a snake? Ilara smirked slightly. Imagine if I told him about the box jellyfish. The aliens looked horrified. One muttered, impossible. No ecosystem could survive such levels of biological warfare. But Ilara's tone remained calm, even casual. We didn't create them. Nature did. We just try not to get bitten. Within hours, the 3 humans were transported to the Galactic Council chamber, a massive structure floating above a gas giant. Thousands of delegates filled tiered platforms that glowed with their species' colors. Green for the Avix, silver for the Arcton, violet for the Trissians. The chamber was alive with whispers as the humans were escorted to a glowing platform at the center. All eyes, compound, crystalline, or mechanical, turned to them. Vareen's form towered above the crowd. You stand accused of violating the Biological Weapons Accord of the 13th Era. Present your explanation. Alara stood straight, her voice echoing clearly through the translation systems. Earth is not a weapons factory. Everything you're afraid of comes from our planet's natural life. Snakes, spiders, insects, they evolved these toxins for survival. We study them to make medicine, not weapons. A murmur spread through the audience. Some aliens hissed in disbelief. Others looked pale, their luminous eyes wide. An alien representative from the Vuroth Empire rose. If your world breeds such horrors naturally, how do you survive there? Eli answered this time, his voice calm and deliberate. We adapt. We build cities. We fight disease, hunger, storms, predators. We survive everything our planet throws at us. That's what humans do. A smaller delegate from the Council of Scholars leaned forward.
And yet your laboratories refine these toxins?
Yes, Alara said. Because we learn from danger. Every poison we study becomes a cure. Every predator we face makes us smarter. There was silence again. The aliens could not understand it. The idea of thriving in a death world. To them, life was something fragile, protected. To humans, it was a battle fought every day. The Trissian professor, revived from his earlier faint, approached cautiously. His trembling voice carried through the chamber. If your ecosystem truly contains natural extinction-level toxins, your species must be immune to them. Alara shook her head. We're not. We just figured out how to handle them. The professor's limbs quivered again, but this time he didn't faint. He simply whispered, "Impossible." At that moment, a holographic display appeared in the air, a recorded test of the venom sample the council had confiscated. The footage showed the black liquid dripping onto a shielded containment plate. The plate dissolved instantly, releasing a flash of white light that consumed everything around it. The aliens gasped as the metal melted like wax. Vareen turned toward Alara, his voice trembling with restrained fury. You call this nature? Yes, she said calmly. That's diluted venom. One drop. The Chancellor stared silently for a long moment. Then in a voice that seemed to echo through the galaxy itself, he declared, The Council will deliberate. Until then, the planet known as Earth is to be quarantined. No travel, no trade. You are a threat to galactic stability. Alara didn't flinch. You can isolate us if you want. But remember this, our planet made that venom naturally. You might want to ask yourselves what else it's hiding. The words echoed in the chamber like a warning. Outside the Great Dome, fleets of alien warships positioned themselves around Earth's orbit, engines glowing faintly as containment fields locked into place. Humanity watched from below, tiny against the stars yet unbroken. Miles leaned toward Alara, whispering just loud enough for the translator drones to catch. Do you think that stuff goes with fries? Alara cracked the smallest grin. Depends on the dip. The alien chamber fell silent again, but this time it wasn't just fear. It was realization. The galaxy had met humanity, and the galaxy was terrified. The alien fleet had returned, larger this time, filling Earth's orbit like a storm of metal and fire. Thousands of ships, some the size of small moons, hovered silently above the planet. Each vessel pulsed with energy that warped the atmosphere below. Cities trembled as gravity fields from the orbiting armada shifted, sending tidal waves across coasts and knocking skyscrapers off balance. Humanity was on the brink of annihilation. Inside the Orbital Defense Command, deep in the Andes Mountains, Admiral Jace Hawthorne surveyed the alien fleet through a holographic display. Red markers filled the grid, every ship accounted for, every weapon identified. The humans had a tiny fraction of the firepower needed to fight them directly, yet there was no panic in his voice. They've come to intimidate us, he said. But intimidation is their weakness. Dr. Linnea Carter, chief strategist and xenobiologist, leaned over the console. How do you mean? Jace pointed at the grid. Every fleet has a pattern, every species has habits. If we predict their behavior, we can turn their strength against them. Outside, sensors recorded strange readings. Alien ships emitted low-frequency pulses that disrupted human communications. The Council had imposed a planetary quarantine, cutting off all civilian and military transmissions. Yet the humans adapted. Within minutes, engineers rerouted signals through orbital relays and biological satellites, using neural-linked drones to transmit commands faster than the aliens could jam them. A sudden alert flashed across the command deck. One of the alien capital ships was descending toward the Indian Ocean at incredible speed. Sensors indicated energy fluctuations unlike anything previously recorded. Jace narrowed his eyes. Prepare the Pacific response. We may not survive, but we will learn. Within hours, naval fleets around the globe mobilized. Stealth submarines carrying experimental warheads submerged beneath the ocean trenches. Fighter jets armed with electromagnetic pulse missiles took off from carriers around the equator. Satellites repositioned, creating a web of interference fields designed to confuse alien targeting. From orbit, the alien ship released a swarm of drones, black spheres that multiplied like living organisms. They descended into the ocean, dissolving waves with heat and energy as they moved. Coastal cities sent evacuation signals, but the drones advanced faster than any human vessel could intercept. Dr. Carter tapped on the display. Admiral, the drones aren't just weapons, they're sensors. They're mapping Earth's defenses in real time. Jace's fingers drummed against the console. Then we make them fight themselves. He activated the first countermeasure, holographic decoys projected from orbital platforms. The decoys mimicked real warships, fighter jets, and even floating cities. The alien sensors locked onto them immediately. The black drones fired, destroying illusion after illusion. For every fake destroyed, more real drones advanced. But each time their energy supply weakened. Below the waves, stealth submarines released nanobot clouds designed to interact with the alien drones. The microscopic machines fused with the drones' systems, creating confusion within their ranks. The once unified swarm fractured, some drones attacking others, some shutting down entirely. Above the Pacific, fighter pilots engaged the remaining drones. Energy blasts and electromagnetic pulses tore through the sky, but the drones adapted, shifting their trajectories in unpredictable patterns. The humans were learning faster than the aliens anticipated. Meanwhile, the alien capital ship hovered, its energy core glowing brighter. It began firing concentrated beams into the atmosphere. Thunderstorms erupted across continents as the beams ionized clouds, creating electromagnetic surges. Satellites failed, cities went dark, and panic spread among the population. Jace remained calm. We expected this, he said. Redirect all remaining energy into the adaptive shields. Dr. Carter tapped commands into a neural interface. The shields enveloped the Pacific Fleet, absorbing the energy blasts and converting them into usable power. The subs, drones, and ships moved in unison, forming a protective barrier around the planet's most critical zones. Then the unexpected happened. From the depths of the Indian Ocean, glowing clouds of bioluminescent microbes began to rise. At first they appeared as nothing more than a shimmering mist. But as they ascended, the clouds pulsed with energy, reacting to the alien beams. When the energy hit them, it was absorbed, amplified, and reflected back. The beams began to overload the alien capital ship's systems. Dr. Carter's eyes widened. They're interacting with the microbes. The ocean is fighting for us. Jace smiled grimly. Earth doesn't just survive, it defends itself. The capital ship faltered, its energy core destabilizing. In a desperate attempt to recover, it launched a wave of drones toward orbiting human satellites. But the holographic decoys and neural-linked drones had anticipated this. The wave of drones was funneled into a corridor of interference, and the nanobots disabled them before they could reach the satellites. On board the alien ship, the commander roared in disbelief. They are everywhere at once. How can a single planet produce such defense? An advisor trembled. Their intelligence. It is not limited to technology. Their planet itself participates. Back on the command deck, Jace observed the alien systems collapse one by one. Sensors failed, weapons overloaded, and the drones disintegrated in midair. The once intimidating fleet was now helpless. The humans seized the moment. Orbital weapons platforms fired precision lances at the alien ship's core. The energy beams struck simultaneously, destabilizing the vessel entirely. The capital ship exploded in a brilliant flash, vaporizing its outer hull and leaving only fragments drifting into orbit. Across Earth, citizens watched the skies in awe. Humanity had survived the Council's assault, not by overpowering the aliens, but by using strategy, adaptation, and the unexpected allies of their planet. Jace turned to Dr. Carter. They'll report back to the Council. We've bought ourselves time, but they won't give up so easily. She nodded, and by then we'll be ready for whatever they send next. Meanwhile, deep beneath the ocean, the microbial clouds began to spread toward other oceans, adapting as they moved. They were no longer passive. They were preparing, learning from the attacks, shaping themselves in ways humans could not yet comprehend. From orbit, satellites recorded faint pulses of energy traveling toward the asteroid belt. Humanity had turned its home into a weapon, a shield, and a classroom. The galaxy had seen what Earth could do when it refused to surrender. As the alien fleet retreated to report their failure, Jace's voice came over the comms. "This isn't the end. This is only the beginning. Let them think they understand us. Let them learn they never can." On the beaches of the Pacific, Dr. Carter watched the bioluminescent clouds fade beneath the waves. "Do you think they'll come back?" she asked quietly. Jace looked out at the horizon, where the sun reflected off the ocean's surface. "They will, but next time they'll be facing more than just humans. They'll be facing Earth itself." Above them, the stars shone bright and silent. Humanity had survived. The Council had failed to crush them. And somewhere in the depths of the oceans, the planet was already learning from the battle, waiting for the next challenge the galaxy might send. The alien blockade around Earth glowed like a steel halo, thousands of warships locked in orbit. Every species in the galaxy watched the live broadcast as the Galactic Council demanded humanity's submission. The order was simple: surrender all biological research or face neutralization. For most species, that word meant compliance. For humans, it meant defiance. In the command center beneath Mount Everest, Admiral Keon Brooks stood before a three-dimensional map of the solar system. The alien fleet blinked in red, forming a perfect cage. Earth's defenses glowed in blue, small, scattered, and hopelessly outnumbered. Yet Brooks's expression was calm. "They think they have us surrounded," he said softly, "but we have something they don't." Beside him, Dr. Mara Lin, head of the Biodefense Division, replied, "Madness?" He smiled faintly. "No, imagination." The lights dimmed as the Council's ultimatum filled every communication channel. A cold, layered voice echoed through space. "Humanity of Sol 3, you have violated the laws of creation. Stand down and prepare for containment. This is your final warning," the Admiral gave a quiet order. "Activate Protocol Mirage." All across Earth's orbit, human satellites came to life. Thousands of drones launched from hidden silos, each projecting decoy signals and holographic fleets. The alien scanners flickered. Dozens of phantom warships appeared, forming what looked like an invisible armada stretching from the moon to Mars. Alien captains barked orders, redirecting weapons. Their targeting systems couldn't lock onto anything real. To them, Earth had just multiplied its fleet 100-fold. From the surface, the northern skies lit up as hundreds of missiles launched, vanishing into the void. None were aimed at alien ships. Instead, they detonated in precise patterns, creating a web of electromagnetic interference that blinded enemy sensors. Brooks watched the holographic display and whispered, "Let them think the monsters finally woke up." The alien flagship, a vessel larger than Mount Kilimanjaro, fired a beam that split clouds and scorched the atmosphere. The energy wave hit the interference field, dispersing harmlessly. To the aliens, it was like shooting light into a fog that swallowed it whole. On board the flagship, the commander of the blockade, a scaled being named Ral Tor, growled in disbelief. "Their weapons cannot match ours. How do they hide an entire fleet?" An advisor trembled. "Perhaps they have more of the extinction venom. The humans could have evolved other toxins." Ral Tor's eyes narrowed. "No toxin can deflect plasma." But his voice was uneasy. The fear of Earth's strange biology lingered even among their hardened soldiers. Back on Earth, Dr. Mara studied the data streaming from orbit. "They're scanning the planet harder than ever." "They're afraid," Brooks nodded. "Good. Fear makes them predictable." But then a sharp alarm filled the room. One of the alien ships broke formation and began descending. The holographic feed showed it diving through the atmosphere, straight toward the Pacific Ocean. "Impact projection?" Brooks demanded. "Mid-Pacific. Speed. 12 kilometers per second." The alien vessel slammed into the sea, sending up a wall of water a mile high. Within minutes, the ocean began to boil. Reports came flooding in. Radiation spikes, chemical readings off the charts. Then, something impossible. "Their ship dissolved," Mara whispered. "Completely. Like metal melting in acid," Brooks frowned. "That's no weapon we fired." She nodded slowly, eyes wide. "No, that's nature. Images came in from deep-sea drones. the wreckage of the alien ship being devoured by microscopic life forms. Earth's bacteria, triggered by alien materials, were consuming the ship like a feast. The microbes multiplied exponentially, glowing faintly blue as they spread. Mara turned to Brooks. "Our planet's biology is adapting to alien alloys." Brooks stared at the screen in awe. "We didn't create a weapon. The planet just did." In orbit, panic spread through the alien fleet. Dozens of ships began rising higher to avoid atmospheric contamination. Raltor ordered immediate withdrawal from low orbit, but it was too late. Some of the drones that had collected samples near the Pacific began to malfunction, their hulls melting from exposure. Inside the Council's chamber on the other side of the galaxy, delegates argued loudly. The broadcast of the event had reached every world. A single planet had eaten a starship alive. One of the counselors shouted, "This is a death world. It is not a civilization, it's a biological apocalypse." Farine, the High Chancellor, spoke with a voice that silenced them all. "No, it is worse. It is self-aware through its species. Humanity is the planet's will." The statement sent ripples of unease through the chamber. If Earth itself could adapt to defend its children, then no weapon could ever truly conquer it. Meanwhile, Brooks prepared for the Council's next move. "They'll retreat to study us," he said, "but we have to show them we're not prey." He ordered the release of the ARC satellites, 3 massive structures hidden in the asteroid belt. When they activated, enormous solar sails unfurled, converting radiation into a focused beam that extended across the system. The beam didn't attack the aliens, it scanned them. Every ship, every life form, every mineral sample. Within seconds, humanity had detailed data on their weapons, propulsion, and energy cores. Mara stared at the data feed. "We've never seen anything like this. Their shields, their fusion drives, it's all recorded." Brooks smiled faintly. "Then we learn. That's what we do best." From orbit, alien commanders began realizing their systems were being mapped. Encrypted transmissions flooded the airwaves. Raltor roared, "They are stealing our technology!" Cut their transmissions. But the damage was done. Earth now possessed knowledge that no pre-warp species should ever have. Back on the ground, human engineers already began simulations. Anti-gravity fields, ion cannons, warp prediction software. Every bit of information was converted into something useful. Humanity was catching up faster than anyone believed possible. But amid the excitement, Mara's console beeped. "Admiral, the microbial spread in the Pacific isn't stopping. It's mutating again." Brooks turned, his calm face hardening. "Meaning?" "It's starting to feed on energy. It's not just organic now, it's hybridizing with the remains of the alien reactor." He exhaled slowly. "We've awakened something." At that same moment, in the Galactic Council chamber, Barine's advisors confirmed the readings. "The human's world is generating a new biological energy field. It's consuming matter, converting it into power." The Chancellor stared at the projection. "If that spreads, it could destroy entire systems." The Council voted in panic, Operation Purge. Every major power mobilized. A new fleet larger than the one orbiting Earth assembled near Saturn. Their mission was clear: sterilize the Sol system. When Brooks received the encrypted broadcast of their plan, he simply nodded. "I knew they'd try." He turned to Mara. "How long before the microbial field spreads beyond the ocean?" 72 hours, maybe less." He leaned forward, thinking quickly. "Then we make it work for us." Under his command, deep-sea drones released signal beacons into the Pacific, drawing the microbes toward energy signatures that lured them upward. Within hours, a glowing blue mist began to rise through the water, forming shapes, clouds of light that responded to human radio frequencies. Mara watched, speechless. "It's listening to us," Brooks nodded. "Then it's time to teach it who its allies are." As the new alien fleet approached the edge of the solar system, human broadcasts filled the void. Recordings of thunder, of ocean waves, of human voices speaking in every language. The microbial clouds pulsed in rhythm with the sounds. When the aliens entered attack range, the microbes surged upward through the atmosphere. The night sky turned sapphire blue. The alien ships fired beams into the glowing clouds, but their weapons dissolved before reaching the surface. The organisms fed on the energy, growing brighter with every impact. Railtor's fleet began to falter. Communications jammed. Engines shut down. Some ships exploded as their power cores overloaded. From Earth, Brooks watched the spectacle in silence. Humanity hadn't fired a single shot. Nature had done the fighting. Mara whispered, "They'll think we did this on purpose." Brooks nodded. "Let them." In the distance, one alien ship broke apart completely, its fragments falling like meteors across the Pacific. The cloud shimmered, then slowly began to fade as if satisfied. The alien fleet retreated, leaving the solar system in chaos. Earth had survived again, but now the galaxy saw it for what it truly was. A planet that fought back. And in the deep ocean, miles below the surface, the glowing microbes continued to spread, moving toward the continental shelves like something alive, watching, waiting, evolving. The first explosion lit up the night side of Mars like a sunrise. The alien fleet had finally arrived. Over 1,000 ships surrounded the red planet, each one casting shadows over the surface as their plasma cannons charged. For the first time in galactic history, the species of the Council were united, not against each other but against a single world. Their target was Earth. In orbit above Mars, the human flagship Resolute floated in silence. Inside the command deck, Captain Isla Ward stared at the tactical display. Red markers filled every inch of space. Humanity was cornered. "They've committed their entire armada," she said quietly. "They think they can erase us in one strike." Beside her, Commander Raphael Holt leaned over the console. "Then they're making the same mistake as everyone else. They think war is about strength." Isla nodded slowly. "It's about who adapts faster." A distant rumble filled the comms. The alien ships opened fire. Beams of light crossed space, cutting through debris fields and shattering defense drones. The first barrage hit the Martian surface, melting canyons into rivers of glass. Alarms blared across the fleet. "Shields at 60%, shouted the operations officer. "Hold formation," Isla ordered. "Initiate Project Hades." From beneath Mars's surface, massive silos opened. Buried decades ago by the Terran Defense Initiative, they contained something no alien had ever seen: orbital mirrors. Thousands of plates rose into the sky, catching sunlight and redirecting it into precise, concentrated beams. The fleet's sensors went blind as a storm of light swept across their formation. The alien captain screamed through comms. "They're weaponizing their star." "On board the Resolute," Raphael grinned. "We told them we're children of the sun." Within minutes, the mirrors formed a ring around Mars, focusing sunlight into narrow lines that sliced through enemy ships. Energy beams tore through hulls designed to resist plasma, burning through like paper. Entire wings of alien vessels turned to molten fragments drifting silently through the void. The alien commanders pulled back, but Isla was already ahead. "Deploy the Phantom drones," she ordered. Hundreds of stealth drones launched from hidden bays, their bodies coated in reflective nanofilm. To alien sensors, they were invisible. The drones weaved between enemy formations, transmitting false signals, making the humans appear everywhere at once. On the alien flagship Heralis, panic spread. The commander, a reptilian being with bronze scales, shouted, "They're outnumbered 100 to 1. How are they everywhere?" His sensor officer trembled. "We can't tell which ships are real. Our targeting systems are collapsing." The humans struck hard and fast. Small agile frigates darted between massive cruisers, planting warheads and vanishing before the aliens could react. Every explosion added to the chaos, then without warning a new threat emerged. From the far side of Jupiter, an enormous vessel appeared, larger than any in the fleet. It was not part of the Council armada. It was something older. The communications feed crackled. A deep, resonant voice echoed through every ship in the system. "This is the Judicator. All sentient species are to cease hostilities. The spread of Earth's biofield has reached the edge of the Orion Spur. Termination protocols engaged." On the bridge, Isla's heart froze. "They're not here to fight," she whispered. "They're here to erase us all." The Judicator was a relic from a forgotten age, a machine built by an ancient civilization to maintain order through extermination. Its purpose was simple: destroy any species capable of uncontrolled biological evolution. Humanity's awakening microbial field had triggered it. The alien fleet, once united against Earth, now faced a common enemy. The Judicator began firing gravitational lances, streams of energy that bent space itself. Entire ships vanished, crushed into singularities. Raphael turned to Isla. "If that thing fires on Earth—" "It won't," Isla interrupted. Her eyes hardened. Not while I'm breathing. She opened a private channel to Earth Command. This is Captain Ward. Authorize Omega contingency. Confirmed, replied the voice from Earth. Are you certain, Captain? I'm certain. Deep beneath Earth's surface, a network of dormant reactors awakened. The planet itself began to hum, generating an energy field that pulsed outward into space. The microbes from the oceans, the same living matter that had eaten the alien ship, responded. They streamed upward through the atmosphere, drawn by the resonance. As the Judicator approached, it detected the surge. Sensors flared. Warnings filled its systems. The blue glow around Earth thickened, transforming into a shimmering veil of light. On board the Resolute, Raphael stared at the readings. It's forming a barrier, Isla nodded. It's alive. It's protecting us, the Judicator fired. A column of gravitational energy struck the barrier and vanished. The wave dissipated, its power absorbed. For the first time in its existence, the Judicator paused. Then the barrier struck back. Tendrils of blue light shot outward, wrapping around the colossal machine. Its armor began to corrode, its core flickering as the microbes invaded. In the Council fleet, the alien captains watched in horror. Their most powerful creation was being devoured by the same planet they feared. Raphael whispered, "We didn't make a weapon. We made a guardian." But Isla knew better. No, the planet made it. The Judicator struggled, its gravitational core collapsing inward. A final transmission echoed across the system. You cannot control evolution. The blue light consumed it completely, leaving only fragments that drifted silently through the void. When the light faded, the solar system was quiet again. The alien fleets hung in disarray, their weapons offline, their morale shattered. No one dared move. Isla activated the open broadcast channel to the Galactic Council. You came here to judge us, she said. You thought our world was a threat. Now you've seen what happens when the galaxy turns against nature itself. Vareen, the High Chancellor, appeared on the holographic feed. His crystalline face shimmered with uncertainty. Your planet defies reason, he said slowly. It breaks every law we know. Isla's voice remained calm. That's what we do. We break limits. For a long moment there was silence. Then Vareen spoke again. The Council will withdraw. But understand this, your species is beyond classification. You are not a civilization, you are an event. As the alien fleets retreated, Earth's barrier slowly faded, the blue light dissolving into harmless mist. The microbial guardian drifted back into the oceans, returning to its rest beneath the waves. On the Resolute, Raphael watched the stars. Do you think they'll ever come back? Isla shook her head. Not for a long time. The galaxy just learned something important. He glanced at her. And what's that? She smiled faintly. That the smallest things on Earth can defeat the biggest monsters in the sky. For hours, the human fleet drifted in silence, watching as the alien ships disappeared into the darkness. The war was over, for now, but deep beneath the Pacific, sensors detected faint energy readings. The microbial field was not gone. It was learning, adapting, waiting. On the seafloor, among ancient volcanic vents, faint blue tendrils pulsed like veins. They moved slowly, almost thoughtfully, shaping new patterns in the sand. As if preparing, above them the stars shone bright and quiet. Humanity had survived another judgment, but the question lingered across the galaxy. If Earth itself could think, what would it dream of next? The alien fleet appeared without warning. 2,000 ships materialized in orbit over Earth like a wall of burning suns. The skies above every major city turned crimson as the invaders' gravity fields distorted the atmosphere. Sirens screamed across continents. Power grids collapsed. The oceans boiled near their coasts. Humanity's final hour had arrived. From the top of the United Nations Space Command Tower, Commander Elias Grant watched the enemy fleet hover in silence. The clouds twisted into spirals beneath the warships. Every transmission channel was filled with static except one, an open broadcast from the alien flagship. This world is under Tribunal Order 9, said a cold, mechanical voice. The species known as humanity has exceeded permitted intelligence growth. Termination begins in 1 hour. The transmission ended. Around the world, fear turned to chaos. But Elias did not move. He turned to his tactical officer. They think we'll beg, he said. They always do. On the dark side of the moon, a hidden network of installations activated. For decades they had been silent, buried under layers of dust and secrecy. Now blue lights flickered to life across their surfaces. Inside the largest base, hundreds of technicians worked in silence as massive doors opened to reveal something the galaxy had never seen before. It was not a ship. It was a weapon born from desperation, a lattice of quantum mirrors connected through entangled energy streams. It was designed to bend light, matter, and even thought itself. Humanity called it the Echo Array. Elias's voice echoed through the command room. Begin the sequence. Lock on every target within Earth's orbit. The first beams from the array were invisible, passing through the alien fleet like wind. The invaders detected nothing. But a moment later, their ships began to duplicate on sensors. Hundreds, then thousands of ghost images appearing across every display. The alien commanders panicked. Multiple human fleets detected, 12,000 ships approaching. Impossible, shouted another. Their species cannot produce that many vessels. In their confusion, they opened fire on the holographic echoes. Every plasma beam, every torpedo they launched struck false images. The real human defense ships remained hidden among the illusions, moving unseen. Elias watched the chaos unfold on his screens. They wanted to measure our intelligence, he murmured. Let them drown in it. From orbit, human ships fired their kinetic lances, silent rods of tungsten traveling faster than any missile. They tore through alien hulls before their shields could realign. Dozens of enemy vessels exploded in synchronized bursts, but the victory was short-lived. The alien flagship powered its main weapon, a core that glowed white-hot. A gravitational pulse erupted from its center, shattering satellites and ripping smaller ships apart. Entire chunks of the Echo Array disintegrated on the moon's surface. Elias gripped the railing. They've found us. The alien commander, a being of living crystal named Arcan, watched from his throne-like chair. End their illusion, he ordered. Erase their light. The fleet's secondary weapons activated, firing thousands of plasma bolts into the moon's surface. The ground split open and explosions carved deep scars across the craters. But as the dust rose, something unexpected happened. The debris began to float, not toward space, but sideways. Gravity was bending unnaturally. From the ruins of the array, faint silver arcs of energy connected the falling rocks. The shattered fragments were realigning themselves, reforming into new shapes. The array was adapting. In the control bunker beneath the lunar surface, a single engineer whispered, "It's thinking for itself." Elias's eyes widened as he received the feed. The fragments had restructured into a vast circular formation, a mirror shaped like an eye. The array pulsed once and every alien ship froze mid-motion. The fleet's systems flickered. Inside their bridges, lights dimmed, weapons shut down, and gravity failed. Then their displays changed, showing not human warships but themselves, each alien captain staring into an image of their own ship, surrounded by fire and ruin. "What is this?" shouted Arcan. Elias's voice came through their comms. A reflection. "You wanted to judge us. Now you'll see what judgment looks like." The array fired, no explosions followed. Instead, every alien ship simply vanished from orbit, gone without a trace. The skies cleared. The oceans calmed. On Earth, the people looked upward in confusion and awe. "Where did they go?" asked the communications officer. Elias stared at the readings. "The array folded them," he said quietly. "Not destroyed, relocated, but to where no one knew." For hours, silence covered the Earth. Then a signal came from deep space, a faint distress beacon. The coordinates led to a region known as the Empty Spiral, a place without stars or light. The message was filled with static, but one line was clear. "We see ourselves, and we cannot escape." The alien fleet had been trapped inside a quantum echo of their own creation, a mirror universe generated by the array. Their ships existed, but only within endless reflections, repeating forever. Elias stood alone in the observation deck of the orbital station, watching the planet below. "They called us dangerous because we learned too fast," he said. "They never asked what we were learning from." The voice of his AI assistant replied softly, "What did we learn, sir?" "That intelligence isn't our weapon," Elias said. "It's our defense. Every time someone tries to end us, we evolve." Weeks later, the Galactic Council convened. Representatives from hundreds of species debated what had happened at Earth. Some wanted revenge. Others wanted peace. But one thing united them all: Fear. A holographic recording of the event was displayed in the chamber. The moment when the array's reflection consumed the fleet repeated in slow motion. "This is unnatural," said one council member. "No species below Tier 5 could build something like that." Another replied, "Perhaps they didn't build it alone. Perhaps their planet helped." The room fell silent. At that moment, the council's central display flickered, and a transmission appeared originating from Earth. Elias stood before them, wearing his black uniform with the Earth insignia. "You don't need to send more fleets," he said calmly. "You don't need to threaten us. We don't want war. But if you come again, understand this. We don't fight for survival anymore. We fight to learn. And learning never ends." The transmission ended. In the following months, the galaxy avoided Earth. Trade routes shifted, borders expanded, but no one dared cross into human territory. From orbit, the array remained active, its mirrored surface reflecting the blue light of the planet below. Scientists studied it for decades, but no one could explain how it continued to operate. It had no power source, no command link. It simply watched, and sometimes late at night astronomers reported strange readings, fleets appearing in orbit for a few seconds, then fading like echoes. As if the ghosts of the vanished invaders were still trapped, trying endlessly to return. Elias retired quietly in the years that followed. He lived near the ocean, far from the command towers and defense grids, but even there, he could feel the hum of the array through the tides, as if the moon itself whispered to him. One night as he stood on the beach, the water shimmered faintly with silver light. Reflections danced across the surface, forming a shape, an eye made of light watching the stars. He smiled faintly. "Still awake, aren't you?" he murmured. The waves answered with a soft pulse of light that rippled across the horizon. In the deep silence of space, the echo array turned slowly, aligning itself with a new region of the galaxy. Beyond the stars, faint signals whispered of another approaching threat, something older, larger, and hungry for power. And somewhere in the infinite mirror it had created, the trapped alien fleet screamed endlessly into the void, forever facing their own reflection. Earth waited, patient and watchful. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors but as the one species even gods hesitated to provoke.